gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Wishes for the new year are that it is full of optimism and excitement, and that it brings you an infinite number of possibilities and blessings. Note: if artificial intelligence and advanced technology are of interest to you, visit www.coolzone.ai to sign up for free and become a part of this global technology company that is committed to helping individuals reach their full potential and focusing on humanity. Growth of social media networks as they move beyond the amazing number of 4.9 billion users that they currently have. A further increase of 25% is anticipated to occur in the years to come. Note: if AI and high-tech interest you, you can join this global tech giant that is focused on humanity and helping people reach their potential, free at www.coolzone.ai. Email. You may transform your communication by incorporating feelings into your emails.
Hey, Magic Unicorn of Onpassive. It's the 10th of February. Guess who we have today? Captain Chris is out of the hospital. Yes, he is. We've got IT man, Collins Manna. Yes, we do. We also got video extraordinaire, Mike Ellis. And we got Marty. But anyway, see you on the inside. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. Yes.
Hard to focus with that jackass. Anyway, hello everybody, and thanks for being here. As you see, we have a full cast of people. I see Dan's on the chat. Dan, you should have been here, but yeah, you sleep, you lose it. I'm just kidding. Anyway, we were talking about a lot of stuff, but if you look at what I have scrolling across the bottom, do you see what I see? And I try to tell people, I don't know what's going on. I don't want. It's very easy to get caught up and stay plugged in. Look, nobody sees everything but Ash Mufara. I mean that. I don't think there's any one other person besides Ash that sees the whole scope of where he wants to go. And by the way, I believe that changes daily. Okay. We talked last night about QR code. We talk about everything you can imagine. We bring up and people love to hear about it and makes people think about it and ask questions. I get it. I love doing it. Everybody here does. But I want you to keep in mind, go look at where we have been. Go look at the foundation and the money that's being put into Onpassive. And you don't need to see a whole lot if you just look at what's been done. I don't need to know what's going on next month. I know whatever it is, it's going to be freaking huge. How do I know that? The history of Onpassive tells me that some big stuff's going to happen when? Every day. Last night, I was chatting with Mr. Mufara while we were on Rob Lynn. He was asking what we're doing. He knows they're on, trust me. And he said, I said, we're talking about the people that are being pulled or being drawn to Onpassive. It being fertile ground for people that have ideas. And he said, there's many big ideas out there in the world that have been out there and they're put on shelves because companies look at it, the industrial age, let's say, not just America, all of them. When they see an idea, the first thing that goes in their mind is how much can we make and how fast can we make it? And a lot of those things get put on this dusty shelf and stored away. Well, the people that made those ideas, secret. They're coming here. And the reason is, Ash isn't going to go into this mind and this warehouse of all these ideas that actually could influence and change mankind for the good and bring them out of the shelf, dust them off, put whatever resources he has, which is massive at this point in time, and get these things life back into them. And these people see that, and where would they rather be? Let's remember something. Success to some people has nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with it. Some people have success, they want to help mankind, flat out. Ash looks at things, everything different. He reverse engineers everything he thinks about. But the funny thing is, though he's not chasing the money, because of what he's doing, money's going to pour in. It's funny. Why chase it? What he's chasing is, what can I do to change the world for the better? Well, one thing you could do is find these people with the ideas, and that's what they do. They're thinkers. They're inventors. They're PhDs. While I was talking to him, he goes, by the way, I was talking to 7 PhDs today, and they're all on board and onto Onpassive. And then I just want you to connect the dots. You don't have to be a genius. Nobody can come into Onpassive except to a founder. Boom. That ought to make you change your pants. Okay, there's one. When you see the Burj Khalifa on Onpassive.com and all these people, 20,000 people taking pictures, those pictures are going home. Those pictures are going to people in business. Those pictures are bringing them to a boardroom, and those pictures are going to a CEO and going, who the freak is Onpassive, and what right do they have to be on the Burj Khalifa? Now I want you to realize this. When you see Onpassive.com, Onpassive.com does not have a position. Everybody that looks at Onpassive.com or signs up to Onpassive.com is going under a founder. Another big boom. You guys want booms? They're already there. All you got to do is look for them, and they'll blow up on you, everything you look at. So start putting these little pieces together. Stop looking for the big masterpiece. Stop looking for, this big painting. Parts of this puzzle are enough to blow you away. I mean, they will blow you away. I questioned with Mike Ellis a long time ago. We would say, why are they building, for example, such a large, landing strip? I don't even see a freaking plane. Why are they building this big network where they can land something? Now I'm seeing it. We're all seeing it. Ash made it so that, and Collins brought this up once. You could build a foundation and then later on repair it. But if you have a foundation that's only for 6 stories, how the hell are you going to put 20 stories on it? You can't. You have to redo it. But how about if you build a foundation for 1,000 stories, even though it looks goofy at first, you're wondering why are they doing that? You're going to see that every time they plug something in, all the things coming off the shelves, all the physical products that we don't see, building onto this, now it's starting to make sense. And the main reason for me, I know for Mike and Collins and Chris, I don't believe in motivating because it doesn't last. I used to get motivated. I went to Amway things. I was motivated for at least 5 days. And at the end of the 5 days, I'm exhausted because people are beating the heck out of me. And it wasn't internal. It was something that I like cheerleading. If you get inspired to think and realize what we have, it lasts for a lifetime. People say, how do you know what you're going to say? You got a pretty kid, you brag about it. You don't need to have a script. I don't need to go, oh, this is my grandson. He's a beautiful kid. If you have to do that, maybe he's not so beautiful. Maybe you got an ugly kid. But we got a beautiful thing in Onpassive. If you take the time to wrap your head around what we have and stop focusing on what might be tomorrow or, oh my God, we're going to have an extension. I said to everybody the other day, they gave a 10-day extension. I'm going to give you my reason why. I don't work for Onpassive. But I've looked at enough little puzzles. Here's why. They felt that they could go to the next step within those 10 days. And remember, the steps in this movement of Onpassive right now, there's external forces that Onpassive has no control over. They have to go according to that. One day we'll be closed up and not have to worry about it. But right now, there are things on the outside that we have to work with. Okay, I don't think it happened in 10 days. They gave us another 10 days. It doesn't mean it's not happening. But the point is, he's not giving 30, he's giving 10. And by the way, every extension makes some people smile, and the other 10 makes people. Here's what I'm telling you. If we didn't have founders that he cares about, we would have never got an extension, and this company would have been flying right now, flying from September 1st. Remember, there wouldn't be a problem with merchants if they were pulling money in. There's companies pulling money in now by the millions. I believe Amazon makes $2 billion a week. They don't have a problem getting it. It's when you run a company where you pay out 25, 35, 40%. We don't know what it is with bonuses. That's where the problem comes in. They're not used to it. It's a hybrid something. They don't get it. Here's a company nobody really heard of yet, and they're moving millions and millions and millions, tens and 50, $100 million back and forth. And you also have greed. But when all that's done and all this gets taken care of and we become 100%, independent, oh my God. But remember, everything's for a reason. And every time Onpassive got punched in the gut or kicked in the crotch or smacked in the head, they never took it out on the founders. If it cost them millions more dollars because of whatever reason, they never charged us one dime more. In fact, what they did is, while they're getting beat up on the outside, they're pampering us on the inside. So you wonder when people come up to me and ask me a question, it sounds like, are they trying to get over it? You might hear a dial tone because I don't want to hear it. Because if you just stay plugged into where we are, don't worry about where we're going. Just look at where we've been and where we are now. You know where we're going. It's big. So I want people to stay cool, keep people inspired. Just see what they have so far and you should be happy. I mean that. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to, I don't know who I'm turning it over to. Mike? Okay, it's going over to Mike Ellis, and hopefully, or I'm done. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, thanks, Marty. And I'm really going to piggyback off of what Marty has said. Last week I was really, really busy. I did not get the opportunity to listen to Ash and Marty and Chris. I did go back and I read the notes that Dan and his group put back there, Dan Street and his group put back there. And what Ash had to share with us this week, it really was extraordinary. And I want to talk about precise information. And the reason I want to do this is because not all information is the same. Sometimes we'll get information and we have to fill in the pieces. We have to bring the other puzzle pieces together to kind of figure out what's going on. But Mr. Mufareh this week, he was extremely precise. And if you understand this, you understand where you're at, and you really do have clarity. You know what's coming. Yeah, we got another 10-day extension. Does that bother me? No, it doesn't. I could care less. What's happening today, because of what Mr. Mufareh told us, is something that you can take to the bank. And let's start with commissions. Mr. Mufareh told us that they are in the process right now. Any pending withdrawals that are out there, they're in the process of being paid. Is that a big deal? Yeah, it's a really, really big deal. And when you think about it, you have to understand where you're at. This is happening today. It's not happening 3 months down the road. It's happening today. Precision is so important when we get to this point because you know where you're at. And when we think about what Mr. Mufareh talked about, he talked about, listen, we have a backlog of commissions that we want to pay before we move forward. And he also said, when we get that done, the new version of OConnect is going to come out. That is such a big deal. This is the version that is ready for prime time. It is the version that people have been waiting for. It is the version of O Connect. When it comes out, people are going to look at that and they're going to go, I'm in, because it's so good, because it's above market value, because it costs less than anything out there. It is a point in time when Onpassive, they take the shackles off and they run. And when that happens, people are going to flock in. So in between that and now, we know that Onpassive is going to pay all of those outstanding withdrawals that people have made. He also talked about the corporate bonuses. This is really, really big stuff. And I had a discussion with Dan Street because I heard it a little different when I went back and read what Dan had put in there, and I listened to Marty and Chris talk about it. I read it a little differently than the way Dan was reading it. And my read on it was, as Marty said, we have a lot of forces that do not want us to succeed, and they're trying to stamp down what Mr. Mufara is doing. And as I listened to what was being said, it sounded like they had to get creative to take care of that particular item in Onpassive, the corporate bonuses. Dan heard it a different way. He heard it as if, no, that's going to happen in the same period that the commissions are going to be paid with the pool of money they have on the side. They have a large pool of money that they want to give to us. And maybe Marty can clarify this later. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I do know the things that need to happen before O Connect comes out. And when O Connect comes out, we will pay for O Connect again. So we kind of know what's going to be happening in the near future. This isn't months out. It's weeks, February, maybe a little bit into March. So when you start to listen to Mr. and he said, what I read in the back office just blew my mind. He talked about some other things I won't go into right now because we've got a lot of people that want to talk. But when you listen to Mr. Mufara, he was very, very precise. There was no caveats in there. These things are happening now. You don't have to worry about a month or 2 or 3 down the road. These things are happening now. And as they progress and they get quicker, they smooth out, they get quicker. More people are getting paid quicker and quicker and quicker. And they get to that place where they're releasing the updated O Connect. It's Katie bar the door. This is where we're at. This is what Mr. Mufara shared with us. So, and you know, I listened to some of the people last night. I know Ron and Joyce had a really, really good input. She talked about people that are waiting for one specific thing. And I had experienced that this whole week talking to affiliates. They're looking for one thing that will show them Onpassive is real. Whether it's people getting paid, whether it's O Connect coming out in the new version, whether it's more than one product coming out. So everybody has that caveat of what they're looking at. Well, Mr. Mufara gave us an assurance that all of those things were happening now, not in the next 3 or 4 months. They're happening now. And because of that, when each of these little things start to happen, people come in and they go, yeah, it's real. And then they start to spread the word. And it doesn't matter what they're looking for. All of these things are going to be happening in the next weeks to come. They really are. And because of that, all of a sudden, all of Onpassive comes together, understanding that, yeah, it not only is it real. And I understand not everybody has the vision that Marty and Chris and Collins have and that I have, because we've been here so long. We know what's coming. I don't need to see anything within Onpassive. But those individuals that need to see these little things happening, and they're little things compared to the whole scope of Onpassive, they are going to be happening. Onpassive is going to come together as an army, and then this thing is just going to start to roll over everything. So that's where we are. Ash has been very, very precise in what he's saying and what's happening in Onpassive, as have some of the other leaders in the corporate side of Onpassive. This month's going to be a great month. March is going to be a great month. And we're just going to keep it rolling. I've got a lot to say, but there's a lot of people here. We don't want this to be a 3-hour webinar. So I'll turn it back over to Marty, and he can go to Collins, and we'll keep it rolling.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I know how you feel, Mike, because we spark off each other. This would be over tomorrow if we don't. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Tex Cobb. You're going last, so I'm going to turn it over to Colin.
Thank you, Marty, for inviting me and Chris. Just grateful and blessed to be here today to share, Onpassive with everyone. Normally we just listen to Mike and Marty. What you guys have just said is really, really perfect. But when you take a step back, because sometimes I always think about Onpassive, I said, all right, if you don't know where you are coming from, you will never know where you are going. That's the truth. You must know, you must enjoy the journey. And when you look at the journey of Onpassive, Mr. Ashford told us about the concept of Onpassive and the business model of Onpassive. So everyone wants to hear the concept because the concept is what we are expecting. The concept is about what? Doing less, paying less, ending more. That's the more people want to see. Ending more with the ability to do good to humanity. That's the bit everybody wants. We want to see the finished product, the finished part of Onpassive, but we are not ready to go through the journey. For you to be able to get to that concept, the concept why Mr. Ashmufara is building Onpassive, we must understand the business model of Onpassive, which is the 4 pillars. And the 4 pillars takes a lot of effort, time, money, sleepless night. We're talking about, building the whole ecosystem with a single sign-on. It's not a day job. It takes a lot of effort. And we know, Mr. Ashmufara said, tick, because they've gone through this process more than 3 years ago. What is the next module again? Pillar. It's about getting your own domain registration. Mr. Ashmufara told us, tick. It is not just easy because it comes with legality, it comes with compliance for you to get that. Mr. Ash told us, tick, we are already there. You need a data center to store your data. It's already coming. Final stage is coming. And then the payment processor. That is the 5 pillar, the business model of Onpassive. Remember, this is a SaaS product because it's software as a service. You want to provide something to business atmosphere because sometimes I look at Onpassive. It is not only for us, the founders. The founders are 30%. Who are those to put more into Onpassive? It is the business, the medium, the large, the small corporation. They are the one to use it. They are looking for value, something that is more valuable, and they can pay less because they will also pay less. Good value for money, Mr. Ashmore want to provide because it's about humanity. So when you look at, all right, what am I getting? The business too are also coming to get something. Though they will pay for the product, but what will happen? Onpassive is being a platform for them to enhance their own business so they can strive. Remember, there are a lot of corporations now almost at the verge of folding up because what? Application out there is too expensive. They cannot afford it. They either go the traditional way or they're looking for alternative. Onpassive now will be the alternative for all of those business to strive. When business fold up, what happened? They lay people off. A lot of people are jobless today because the company cannot survive. Some of them having 200 employees, some with 1,000 employees. If they cannot survive, they fall up and say, bye, we cannot continue, and they go bankrupt. But now Onpassive is coming to give that platform, that business model of Onpassive, where they can come and survive. Great. Look at it again. Ms. Ash said, all right, for those who are coming because they want to make something out of it, I will replicate that same business for you. I build a business for myself, my family, which is Onpassive, and I can replicate it and give it as to many people, those who choose to come and participate in Onpassive. That is the journey. And when you think about the business model of Onpassive, then you can start to say, now I understand why Mr. Ashford is telling us you will earn more. When you come in, you will earn more to do what? To help mankind. Because at the end of the day, if Mr. Ashmufara is not sure of what he's saying, he will not come and make that statement. I want to give you time and financial freedom. How do you give it? It's by building something, bringing everything in-house, making sure you have total control of everything. When you have total control of everything, it means you have owned it. When I said we will own it, that is it. Bring everything in-house, own it, no third party. People coming, controlling, telling you have to pay ABC for me to supply you with ABC. So now you are owning everything. You can determine the price and you can give it to whoever you want to give. And that is the beauty about Onpassive. So I will just leave it there, Marty. We can talk about this as long as possible, but I'll leave it for now.
Beautiful. Now we're going to go to the one and only, one step at a time.
Stop it.
All right, go, Chris.
Hey guys, number one, what an honor it is for me. Not even with Marty DeGarmo, but Mike and Collins. Wait, I got some motorcycles cruising by me here, and golf carts, and they have fun out here in Florida, man. I gotta move here. It's just too much fun out here. It's always an honor and pleasure to sit anywhere with these two guys. Mike, from the beginning for me, and Collins, as we grew together, constantly blow me away. So welcome and thank you for showing up. This is the last day I'll be talking about my hospital stay. As you can see, I am home. We're RVing it right now, and it's a little different for me. The other last 9 days I was in the hospital, which is still, I didn't even know it was that long. It felt a little longer, but I had security around me the whole time. As a matter of fact, I couldn't, because I was a fall victim, is that's what they called it. Everything in my room had an alarm on it. So if I sat on the recliner chair and I decided to get up, an alarm went off. If I'm laying in bed and I had to use the bathroom, the alarm would go off. And it drove me crazy. But I also was pretty grateful for it, that no matter what I do, someone's got me here. Now, I don't have the magic IV. Yeah. No, IV. I'm getting mixed up. Where in the hospital, oh, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain, where they can come in and give me a little magic potion that goes into my veins and I feel much better. I found that out the hard way last night, that I don't have that. And it was a little struggle. But that's what I like the security of the hospital about, is I knew I was protected. Then I thought about, how do I tie that into Onpassive? Every one of us right now are going through a struggle. Broken ribs for me, of course, or people that are losing their jobs, or people that are, like Collins was saying, is what companies first do is they downsize to save themselves, to save money. And next thing you know, they say, wow, we could do that again. And they don't think about the people. I witnessed that for 30 some years, and that's business. That's just how it works. But when I think about Onpassive, I think about the total protection package of what they're offering all of us. Not just us four guys on here, which are the best looking guys I've ever seen, let me tell you, but the entire world that wants it. And that's the greatest thing about Onpassive. No one was forced, begged, borrowed. If you wanted to get Onpassive, you took that leap of faith, you jumped in. Okay, now let's talk about the extension. Now, this has just popped in my head as Mike was talking about it. And I thought, I'm going to make a little fun of this. How many people get an extension on their house payment? And if you do, what's it cost you? How many of you get an extension on your car payment? And if you do, what's it cost you? And here's my favorite one. Ladies are going to love this. And ladies that get the hair extensions, I know how much those cost. I don't get them, but what they tell me, it costs you a lot of money. Ash Mafar has given us so much that the little bit that we did pay is 10 times past that. All right. As far as I'm concerned, I owe him money from all these extensions, because I still get to listen. He gave me the greatest vehicle in the world, and I'll call it the Onpassive vehicle, better than any kind of hot car you can imagine. And I'm still driving it. He didn't say, whoa, Chris, you got to park it. We got some things. No. He said, get in that sucker. I'm giving you 10 more days. I'm not charging you a dime, nickel, a penny, and run the hell out of that thing and beat it up and talk about it. Man, that's Ash Mafara. But you think about your life and extensions. I didn't get an extension when I was in the hospital. That's for darn sure. And everything hurt. I didn't want an extension. Actually, I asked for a 1-day extension because I didn't feel right. And they gave it to me because it was protection. Same thing about Onpassive. This 10-day extension is protecting us, whether you believe that or not. Why? Because he needs to do everything correct. He's got so many things that are looking at him every time he sneezes, someone's going to question him about it. And not just from over here, but over there, lawyers, governments. And Ash has said something from the beginning that has always stuck to me is, I have to do this right, but there's no way I'm going to stop doing it. There's no way I can stop doing it. But if he doesn't do it right, what do we say? He used to say, we don't want to just say, I want you to think back. Think back of when I first started 3.5 years ago. And everyone's saying the big question was a joke is, when's the launch? When's the launch? And then you think about, if we would have launched back then, where would we be? Because so many things has happened in this process of building this company. And I'd like to say to this, the foundation was built so deep that it goes straight through this earth. It goes straight into space. And guess what? The foundation of Onpassive, I believe, is always and continually going to be built to make it stronger and stronger, because there's no limit where we can go. So Ash Mafaris has to say, we got to just keep building this foundation, because we got way too high to go. So that's what he's doing. And who's that foundation out there? It's it's us. It's the founders. All right. It's the new people coming in. All right? And they are coming in, by the way, whether you believe it or not. So when I had people, believe it or not, saying, why the extension? That was my biggest question yesterday. Why the extension? And I'm like, why not? I'm not going to answer that question, because I just think I did. He's doing it because it's not quite there yet. And listen, when this happens, guys, listen, turn on your water faucet full tilt, because it's going to be a constant flow of love, compassion, income, breathable, less stress, no stress. Hey, it's all gone stress. I'm out scuba diving with Mike Ellis, and I'm out there fishing with Collins Manna, and me and Marty are traveling all over the world in this crazy bus, killing each other. That's what life's going to be about. All right. Yep. We are going to stumble and fall once in a while. I find out I don't bounce as good as I used to. And it hurts, but that's okay. I know that I have the security of Onpassive that's coming my way. I know damn well how much he's working. All right. I know what it's like to put a lot of hours in. And all four of these guys, 3 guys on the panel, also know what it's like to work. And they worked for themselves. Ash Mafar is doing it literally for the world. But I think we forget about that a lot of the times. So anyone that calls me to complain, man, you're just really wasting your breath, because there's nothing to complain about, but there's everything to gain about. Everything this man's doing is going to put us so high up. All right, yeah, our back to the old style, our ears will pop. The things he's done is almost close to a miracle. Like I said yesterday, I'll repeat it again. When you had people inside the company and outside of the company complaining you're giving way too much money, when's the last time you heard anyone in the history of the world tell a CEO, you're giving away too much money? What's wrong with you? I want you to sit back and think about it. And then I think about all the greats in this company, from auto workers to carpenters to IT people, that are in this company for one reason, because they know it's going to work, and they know it's going to be phenomenal, and they know it's going to change their lives. There's people in this company that refused to do their jobs, or they had to leave their jobs because they believed in this company so much. And I'll never tell you who that is. Wink, wink. Okay. That's how much they believed in this company. Ash Mafar's got a lot of weight on his shoulders, and more than you could even imagine. For 1 minute, he does with it 24 hours a day. So be thankful for where you're at. I know I am. All right. All you got to worry about is nothing, because you didn't have to do anything. All right. I know Mike Ellis. I know the work he did as far as carpentry. It's not easy. He's been doing it a long time. He does it himself. Now, if Ash Mafar came in and said, Mike, I'm going to climb the ladder for you. I'm going to nail those steps in. I'm going to build those bathrooms for you. I'm sure Mike would say, go right ahead, Ash. But that's really what he's doing. He's doing that so people like Mike Ellis, myself, Collins, and Marty could say, it's time to take a break, guys. That's all he's really saying. I want you to take a break and be happy. So on that note, I'm going to stop, but I do want to say today's real birthday, Narelle Warcon. Happy birthday. It's your real birthday. Patch, good Lord. Elsie Patch, happy birthday to you. We are still praying for all the ones in this family, but also outside the family. People ask, how do you pick how you pray for people? Hey, listen, if someone sends me something, if I remember, I pray for them. But even if I don't, I'm always praying for them. I believe in it. I'm going to say Robin Noble definitely needs prayers. Not only is she one of my best friends, but she's also a founder and a very strong voice of Onpassive. We have Tim Johnson. I think Tim Dillon, I heard, was on the show last night. That's good. And I forgot the most important thing to me was yesterday is Harold Fox called me, and I forgot to say this yesterday, and he's doing great. He's still in the hospital, and, he's sore. They had to open him up. But that was, music to my ears because that one made me a little scared. But they all do. But just remember you're Onpassive. But we do have daily things that we struggle with. And listen, I'm not going to say Onpassive is going to come in your life right now and cure your cancer or put a Band-Aid on that cut you got on your arm. But what I'm going to say is going to make it a lot easier for the rest of your life. And that's how I really look at it. Marty DeGarmo, Mr. Mike, Mr. Collins, again, thank you. I love you guys with all my heart. Back to you, Marty.
Fantastic. Wow. Did we hit a little bit of everything? Keep in mind, I've always heard that opportunity knocks once or twice in your lifetime. That saying was invented way before Onpassive. This is not just an opportunity. You were given a gold mine, and the gold mine has already found gold, and they bring it out by the bucket. So once you get your head wrapped around that, look, what do we physically have to do? Nothing. No one here has to be here right now. No one. No one has to be in. We don't make monthly nothing. I've never seen anything like it. I do recommend everyone that owns or runs a YouTube channel go to and make sure you find all the mudsuckers and eliminate them from your channel because then they will be forced to make a new email. It's a lot of work for mudsuckers. So make sure you do that because they can rock and roll somewhere else. We did have 600 and close to 650 people here. I appreciate it. Obviously, because we had an all-star cast. I appreciate everybody that showed up. Listen, stay tied in, stay plugged in. It's only going to get faster. As said that, more and more is coming over and over and over, and it's going to change daily. If you had requested a payout, keep your eyes open in your email because remember the verification's going through the merchant, not through Onpassive. It's something they want to do to make sure that you don't get ripped off. And Chris has something to say, or he's telling me something else.
Well, I was reminding us both. I'll say it real quick. Number one, Red is coming on at 11 o'clock. Red did one hell of a live yesterday. I really liked it, Red. We'll see if you can top that one today. And I got to do a little house cleaning. The other day on 360 now, and I want you all to pay attention to this.
Oh, yeah, this is important.
A lot of you like to copy the 360 and then share it out in your YouTubes. Listen, I don't have any problem with that. But what I do have a problem with is you guys put it out the second it ends. Now, there's some things sometimes that Ash wants us to take out of there and edit it that maybe he doesn't want to hear the public, that he said something he didn't want to be on there. But when you guys do that, we can't edit. So what I'm going to ask you to do is before you share it out immediately, because, yeah, you want to be first. I get it. Can you give us at least 10 hours, 10 to 15 hours, so we can make sure we go through everything? Because it's a lot of work for Marty, believe it or not. Make sure it's all perfect, and then we'll run it, and then you can do whatever you want. Marty, you want to add to any of that?
No. I'm glad you brought it up because me and you talked about it and I forgot. Yeah, look, listen, there's stuff in there, we're talking. Is there anything hidden? No, but there's some things that if you only say a little bit of it, it gives people the fuel to add to it. And there's a lot of people that add negative. That's how they live. That's how they walk. That's what they breathe. That's what they walk in shadows. They walk behind. They're just looking for trouble. So I usually listen to it. I look at it. We come back. Man, we don't need that to be in there because sometimes we're just talking as family. So sometimes we want to eliminate, and I can't do that if people take it instantly and put it on their channel. By the way, you don't have to be Jimmy Olsen, okay? It's not, oh, I did it first. Just stay cool. When I put it out, that means I'd already gone through it. And going through a 2 or 3 hour video, it's not that easy. And you just throwing it out there is not making it easy for me or the company, by the way, because a lot of times we have to explain to people what's going on. So, and remember, Ash wants to tell everybody everything, but you can't. You just can't. People twist it and say what they want to do, add stuff. It's the nature of the whole world. It's been that way for thousands of years. This isn't something new. There's people that walk in the light. There's people that walk in the darkness. It doesn't mix, oil and vinegar. So the darkness, people that want to be dark and negative and all that, that's okay. I just don't want them to do it on our dime. Anyway, anybody else got anything?
Yeah.
Mike does. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mike.
I do, Marty. I'll try and make this quick so we don't get into Red's time. But I really want to tie, I mean, Marty's talked about it, Chris has talked about it, Collins talks about it. And it's a concept that I absolutely love. I read it a while back. And it's let your life determine your days. and really what that means, and all three of the Marty and Chris and Collins, they've spent a decade preparing for what's coming tomorrow. So you prepare for the days ahead, and you can literally, and it's all about the journey of Onpassive, and you can literally know what's going to happen because you're letting your life determine your days. You're not letting your days determine your life. And the way you do that is through knowledge. You have to acquire knowledge. I recommend that everybody reads every single day, whether you're reading about Onpassive or some other subject. There's so much to learn out there. And when you get to a point, it's like understanding Mr. Mufar, having the knowledge of what he's saying. It doesn't matter. We got an extension for 10 days. It does not matter because your life is determining your days. Your days aren't determining your life. You know what's going to be happening because of the knowledge you've acquired from Marty, from Chris, from Collins, and from other people. And when you can do that, all of a sudden, you know what's going to be coming in the future. You can start to dream about how you want the future to look because of the knowledge you have. Now, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom, and we can have that conversation another time. But knowledge is really, really important. So always be searching for the knowledge that's going to prepare your days. And if you can do that, whatever day comes, however it looks, you're going to be able to adjust to it, and it's going to be a good day. And that's what we want everybody here to have, a good day. And when you can do that, you're going to find that life becomes, it really does become easy for you. And then when you have the understanding of Onpassive, not only does life become easy for you, but it gets really, really exciting, and your dreams just start to expand. That's where we want you. So let your life determine your days. Don't let the days determine your life. When you do that, everything changes. That's it, Marty. I don't want to stand too long. Colin, yeah, if anybody has anything else, go ahead.
Collins, anything else, sir? You're good. Chris? Break a leg. I'm just kidding. It wasn't funny. Anyway, we'll see you all. Thank you so much for being. I hope we inspired you to think. Remember, that's all I want you to do. Just think about what you have. Look at what we have. Don't overcomplicate it. The complication is on the company side. Don't overdo any of it. Don't overwork it. I said last night when we brought up some ideas that you could do, I'm not telling you to market. I've never mentioned that. I wouldn't do that. If I could show people how to market, I probably would have never found Onpassive. I couldn't. It's too much work. It's a lot of work. But with Onpassive, it's the only company I've ever been in that you should be able to have fun while you're creating unbelievable income. You should have fun doing it. That's how it was made. Anyway, see you all, and God bless.